You knew this had to happen, didn't you? Did you really think just DNA digivolving the Data Squad partners back in September would be good enough for me? Good enough for you? No, of course not. So today I have teamed up with some wonderful artists to corrupt, twist, and make evil the Digimon Data Squad partner Digimon.
It's Karn's Spooktober Spectacular.
And hey, petrifying paisanos, before we begin, I want to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, Opera GX. Sponsors are always amazing for this channel and mean that I can afford to pay the artists to make videos like this one possible, but it really helps when I genuinely use the product, and yeah, I've been using Opera GX on my PC, laptop, and phone for ages now. Opera GX is a special version of the Opera browser, which I'm sure you heard of, but designed specifically for gamers. And it's also available on mobile via GX Mobile, which can be easily connected to the desktop version so you can get access to all of the sites and bookmarks you need plus more on the go or at home. It's as simple as just clicking the Opera logo, going to settings, and then connect to a computer for your flow. Some features I really like of Opera GX include GX Control, which is absolutely perfect when you want to keep a bunch of tabs open. We've all done it. Don't want to lose them, but also don't want to impact the performance of your gaming. So let's say I want to use the RAM limiter and I only want to be able to use 4 gig of my 8 gig of RAM. There you go. And I can turn it off whenever I want to. And the same applies for your CPU too. If you only want to use 50% of your CPU, it's right there. And GX Control also has a network limiter used by the Opera GX browser to gain performance in games and streams. And Opera GX is also equipped with an import tool that allows you to quickly import all your settings from previous browsers to Opera GX, like browsing history, bookmarks, and cookies. I've been using Opera GX for so long I'm not entirely sure I have any other browser settings, but it is an option. And in addition to Opera having its own extension store, Google Chrome extensions are also compatible with Opera browsers. So you can quickly go to the Chrome web store and install any extension you want. Let's say, for example, I want to install vidIQ Vision for YouTube. See how it says add to Chrome there? But I'm in Opera GX. And just like that, vidIQ is installed. Amazing. Let's be honest, if you're a Digimon fan, you're almost certainly a gamer too. But I think regardless of what you use your computer and phone for, you will find a ton to love with Opera GX, so make sure you check out my link in the description down below or in my pinned comment to get Opera GX for free. Huge thank you to Opera GX for sponsoring this video, and let's get to the darkness. What is up, digital creatures? My name is Karn EX and welcome back to Karn's Spooktober Spectacular. And yes, Dark Digivolutions for the Digimon Data Squad partners, and I know what you're probably thinking, Karn, Data Squad already has a type of Dark Digivolution in Ruin Mode, and yeah, I don't really like Ruin Mode. I don't know, I just personally think that Dark Digivolution is more interesting when it presents a new, more terrifying form for the Digimon in question, and Ruin Mode is just kinda Burst Mode recolor. So we wanted to go full send for this one and give the Data Squad partner Ultimate their very own custom Dark Digivolutions, because I think they deserve it. But don't worry, thanks to All Trade, whose art you will also see later in the video, we have given the ones that do have burst modes their own recolored ruin modes just for the culture. And we begin with some guy 944 who took on the task of giving Lilamon a Dark Digivolution, which takes the form of Snapdramon. This femme fatale plant Digimon takes design inspiration from the Venus flytrap and the Snapdragon, because when Snapdragon pods die, they wither to look almost exactly like tiny human skulls. How freaky! Very appropriate for the season. Snapdramon, as I said, is definitely a femme fatale, but is far from a lover. She's actually a rebellious street punk who is almost addicted to violence.
Oh, hell yeah!
With some guy 944 taking a lot of inspiration from the Japanese female delinquent look for her design. And yeah, if you wanted a Rosemon Ruin mode, here she is too. And then is Crowmon, who I commissioned Indominus art to corrupt into Chirinmon. I thought it'd be interesting to explore Falcomon's Dark Evolution as something of a Ronin, a warrior with no master to contrast the ninja and samurai themes of the main evolution line. And Chirinmon fills that purpose, a bird of prey banished to the desert. Indominus gave Chirinmon a feather on its neck, which is directly stolen from Ravemon Burst Mode, and it directly affects the staff-like weapon it holds, turning the energy of it into something akin to burst energy. Chirinmon patches its rotting and falling apart body with tech it scavenges from other Digimon and other Digimon's data. And you may notice the green of its feathers, which we use as a nod to Vulturemon. I always like when Digimon can fulfill multiple purposes, kind of like what half my videos are about that aren't custom art, so I thought it would be fun if Crowmon got a Dark Digivolution, it could also act as a regular Digivolution for Vulturemon, who I have become quite a fan of in recent months. But Chirinmon also kind of looks like it got contaminated in a hypothetical nuclear wasteland that it might dwell in. And of course, here's Alltrade's take on the Ravemon recolor for the culture. Then, moving on to Shawujinmon, the champion of Kamemon, Fuzzy twisted the lad into this, Kawatoramon. Kawatora means river tiger in Japanese, and is another name for the Kappa, from which Fuzzy and I agree to draw inspiration for this design. Kawatoramon leans into the darker side of Kappa lore, in which Kappas are accused of assaulting humans in water and removing a mythical organ called the Shirikodama from their victim's anus. Yes, really, Kappas are messed up. And that inspiration is the orb you can see in Kawatoramon's hand, a Digicore ripped from the, let's just say, body of the Digimon that dared defy it. What a freaky dude. But then we couldn't forget Kudamon and its ultimate form, Chirinmon, which I enlisted Alltrade to Dark Digivolve, corrupt the potential Royal Knight into Vanagandamon, getting its name from an alternate name from Fenrir, Vanaganda, as we did already create a Fenrirmon in the Frontier Corrupted Spirits video. Alltrade wants to say he got a lot of help from Capney on the design notes for this fearsome beastie, and Capney in particular helped with the head, horns, and the torn gums. Alltrade and I agreed it made sense to keep the Norse mythos Sleepmon or Kentaurismon pulls from, and felt that using a dog-like beast made sense, when considering Kentaurismon is the bestial royal knight, apparently even more so than Duftmon. This is most evident in how Alltrade made the horns reminiscent of Kentaurismon. In addition, Alltrade also added two fun references to Berserk here. Alltrade said the Berserker armor just looked too nice not to try and pull from here and there, as well as referencing some of the very first designs Alltrade did for the channel. In particular, the inspiration comes in that red lightning bolt-like pattern on the head and the collar. And out of the kindness and determination of his own heart, Alltrade also felt compelled to, well, Gizmon is already kind of corrupted, so let's say further corrupted Gizmon, as it becomes a vessel of destruction in its own right, free of Karata, and that is Gizmon 2K, a Gizmon that is fused with King Drazil Data. Gizmon 2K's name is a reference to Y2K, the event that feared all computers would go berserk when the clocks turned midnight on January 1st of the year 2000. This does break the naming convention of the canon Gizmon, as they're all named after personal computer models, the IBM personal computer in particular, but represents Gizmon moving away from being under Karata's control, and when fused with that Drazil Data, perhaps even glitched out to enact its own chaotic machinations, and taking a form very much resembling a biblical angel. If we consider Agumon to be Data Squad's Diaboromon, 2K is Saver's Millenniummon. As Alltrade said, the Gizmon line is visibly advancing, PT is quadrupedal and can't fly, AT can only fly and has no legs, and XT is almost human, maintaining its ability to fly. So the next step has to be more human, and seeing as I'm combining Drazil Data with it, biblically accurate angel just makes sense. And yeah, I think it turned out wonderfully. And our penultimate Dark Digivolution is from Mephistoon, who Dark Digivolved MachGaogamon. To me, this was a clear opportunity to finally address the digital hazard seen on MachGaogamon. And so what happens if MachGaogamon were to go through its very own Megidramon style Dark Digivolution? What if Thomas's negative emotion fuels the digital hazard? Well then, we might get Jinro Gaogamon. The digital hazard has broken the mirage and revealed the true darkness underneath, a powerful predator fueled from the inside by the digital hazard. This snarling werewolf, which is where it gets its name from, Jinro means werewolf in Japanese, is an envoy of the darkness. Some details I love that Mephistoon included are the dog-like tongue and the torn and tattered Gaogamon-esque back claws. In addition, the variation on MachGaogamon's torso being a more fearsome wolf-like creature instead of the kind of dog that we get on MachGaogamon, and with those glowing evil eyes, is just great. Oh, and here's MachGaogamon Ruin Mode. You see why I figured Dark Digivolutions would be more interesting? And then finally, Soru came in clutch to Dark Digivolve RizeGreymon. Well, kinda. See, I was thinking RizeGreymon and ShineGreymon form a phrase, rise and shine. And what feels like the opposite of rise and shine will maybe doom and gloom? So perhaps the ultimate could also be corrupted in this case, and Soru actually did a sick recolor of what Doom Greymon might look like. But I'm sure a lot of you have ideas in the comments and on Twitter too what that Doom Greymon might be. But whether it be RizeGreymon or Doom Greymon, their dark fate remains the same, as their bodies are twisted to become Gloom Greymon. And what a wonderful dark dino he is. Soru folded in elements from a couple of different sources, including ShineGreymon itself, as well as the railgun of Metal Greymon Ultra Virus mode / MachGaogamon Virus X antibody, and even some MachGeomon vibes for good measure. Greymon would be the scourge of the digital world and provide a challenge for even Marcus to regain control over. Imagine the destruction Greymon could do even to Balthamon Rage mode. Frightening. I also really like that Soru took the sun or courage symbol from Shawujinmon's tail and turned it into a little crescent moon. Just great attention to detail. And I mean, in my opinion, much better than Shawujinmon Ruin mode. So that is it, all our Dark Digivolutions for the Digimon Data Squad team. I know there's a couple missing here, but time, budget, and also how do you corrupt a chess piece? But we can of course get to those in a future video. Please do go follow all the artists. Their credit is on screen right now. Go get a commission from one or all of them. They definitely deserve it. And huge shout out to my Sovereign ZDK14 as well as all the names you can see on screen right now for supporting the channel with their hard-earned money. Check out the video below me because it is one from the Spooktober Spectacular that YouTube knows you will love, and I will see you next time when we go digital. Bye bye.